All right, so what I want to do is I want to create a new template for my blog listing page. So the actual tiles that appear showing the blog list, that's what I want to build here. So I need a list of requirements that need to be on the actual tiles to figure out how this is going to look. So let's whiteboard this out. I have the image, I have the title, description. I don't know if the description is actually going to make it into the final version or not. Some places have them, some don't, so I'm going to make it optional and see what I like. But I do want the categories. And my image is going to have an overlay over it that shows whether it's before, during, or after, and so that'll be embedded with it. All right, so BDRA, the categories will be there. I want to show if it's a video or not. All right, so categories, image, title, maybe description. Is the video, is that? And the categories are there. I think that's basically all that I need to display inside of the title, or inside of the tile. So let's start putting a couple things together. I know that I may want some listings that can scroll horizontally or fit several horizontally on the screen at a time. I'm not sure if that's going to be my final design or not, so I want to keep that in mind. So the image might be tall as opposed to wide. Or I might just use the wide version that I have now, split it in half, and then on hover, it'll move over, or some type of thing. So we'll see how that ends up working. So let's see. We can have the image there with the BDA up there. The title. The title could be there. That's fine. So and then. Let's see, do I want to have the video icon over the image or not? I don't really know. And then the categories, I think I want above the title. Okay. And the title will wrap. And then if I do want the video over the top of the image, do I want it to just be like a little icon in the middle, or do I want it to have its own flag, kind of like the before, during, or after will be? So I don't want to interfere with the main part of the image too much. So maybe I can just do that if it's a video, and then it's very clear which one's the video and which ones aren't. So I can do that, but with my long titles, it'll be that. So I want short title to go with it. And I could do that, and then just wireframe it out. And then kind of see how that looks. That one won't have a video. And these will all be color coded, so like we'll have a before, right? Maybe in green. We'll have a during, maybe in blue. Right. I was thinking I didn't want to use a red color for my before, during, or after, because that's a warm color, and I really want to try to avoid that. So since I'm not using red for those, maybe I can use red for the video. And that one doesn't have a video. So it would be blue and then green and then another cool color, maybe purple-ish. Maybe purple. I don't know if that's really going to fly or not. I'll figure out the colors as we go. But All right, so purple-ish, right? So then let's see, the category should be filled in with the color also. So I don't know what color I'm going to end up using. So that one's just kind of black. But, and I mean, like, that's not awful. It doesn't really wrap as much as I'd want it to. So what if I did something like the full width of it? This is basically the setup that I have now, right? So I have categories on top and then an image. And then a title, and then I have the video down here, but since I'm not going to be using a description, I could use a description there, or I could just have it over the top of the image at that point. That may actually end up saving some space overall. Oh, and a little instance, right? All right, so if I want to fit a bunch on the screen horizontally in a row, I may actually just want the full image and go with that. Maybe able to fit some more because the titles aren't going to go. Oh, and I think I want a short title for each of these. Another option that I could do is I could just have the images laid out side by side and then have a hover effect that'll show the title and description and all that type of thing. And then have before, during, and after, video on the ones that are video. Obviously, image in the center. And then yeah, on the hover, don't know how to draw a circle. Then on a hover, that can take up basically the whole screen, maybe a row above it, a row below it. That obviously fits a lot more. The problem that's off the top of my head is how would I do that on a mobile device? Because obviously there's no hover states on the mobile devices. I kind of like that though. But where would you click in order to do it? So the hover effect would have that bring up. You should be able to continue to hover over this part and have it still be up. Or hover on that, and then I suppose any click would bring you into it, right? Or we could have if it's a video, clicking on a video would actually play it right here without ever actually leaving the page. And then clicking on the tile or on anything else would have it go there, but that gets into weird click events. At that point, it would make sense the categories would search the categories. And it might be confusing because if it's not a video, it's just an image, clicking it should, yeah. All right, so I don't like playing the video live in there, but and then whether it goes above or below, and I still need the fix for mobile. But on mobile, I'm just trying to think. On a mobile device, you could have image, the short title down here, and then still have top and bottom for your videos. And then maybe you just wouldn't see the categories on a mobile version. bad if I don't show you categories on a mobile version? I don't think so. And then the other issue is, do I want to create images that are just tall, or do I want to use the standard square and then hover over it and have it move like I mentioned earlier? I think if I do this, I could just use the hover effect. But if I do this, I would want to create a separate image for that. Which means, I mean, I could import something and I could have React actually decide what shape of the image goes to which size, or I could make myself do it in Photoshop, or I'd give myself both options and then have it like a default option with the ability to override it with custom images. I like that, actually. Let's see. I'm also looking at my screen that shows my current images is over on the side. So if you see me looking this way, I'm looking over there for some other ideas. But I like this. I think this is a good start. I don't think I like this one because just based on a wireframe, I can't fit as much. And I can take up more. I'm not constrained by the vertical space, right? So like, this one would be taller than this one. This one would be wider. But on a big screen, I want to show as many horizontally as I can, because what I'm thinking is, let me get over here, make sure I can see it. So what I'm thinking is I would have a cat name, and then all of these different options, right? With a see all. And then and that type of thing. So in this case, it's very much like less like a blog entry and more like a Disney Plus, a Netflix, a Hulu, those type of content delivery systems. And so that would be a little bit different, and then it would still be familiar for users, but it would be kind of different than other blog platforms and set itself apart. Setting itself apart by doing something a bit more advanced is obviously appealing. And then let's see here. This is kind of where I'm leaning. I'm not totally sold on it, but I like the idea. Because then not just can I get categories, but I can put up like things before you go, things while you're there, after you're there. Games of 60-second recollection could be down here, and I could put that right there on the front page. Things in Fantasyland I could have as a category here and just go with that. And that way I'm getting park info on the same page, and I'm getting 60-second recollection games on the same page, and other types of things on the same page, which is kind of nice. And then everything else just becomes kind of a filter, right? So like if I want to see, if I hit the see more for whatever category 2 is, it would be the same as the current drop-down filter for just category 2. And it would just show you everything on the whole page, just like it does now. And I think that's very concise. It fixes my problem of what I'm going to do with the home page. It's familiar, but it's also different than other blog platforms. So I kind of like that. I think this is the way that I want to go, and my actual room light is set up with a motion sensor, so bear with me. There we go. Sometimes that's a really nice feature, sometimes it's not a feature. But anyway, I think I'm torn between these two, but I think I kind of like this with this listing. And then when I import an image, I'll let React either build the 2 different sizes that I need, because I'll need the full banner for the actual page itself. I'll need the smaller 4x3 rectangle for this standard image, and then I'll need obviously the tall version. So I'll let React resize those and generate them for me, while also giving me the option to directly import all three of those manually. So if I want to Photoshop something different, I can do that. If I'm feeling particularly lazy and don't want to Photoshop it up, I can still get everything done and displayed correctly. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards this with that list. And then the mobile version will, the mobile version just have the that and the title. And then on here, I think I still like having the title on it. Do I want it above or below? Probably want it below. So I always feel awkward abbreviating title, so I just spell it out. Oh, and then to try to fix everything, instead of just having this be a hover effect later on the screen, I could actually take the whole screen, make it essentially a modal, right? Which will display this, the current line that the item is on, the actual hover state itself, and then everything else gets maybe a different, like a lighter white overlay, partially opaque white overlay, or even just blurred out, do a CSS filter on it, and then have this stand out, maybe even with the shadow underneath. I kind of like that, actually. Would that be too distracting, though, too much? I don't know. We'll try it, find out. So, or maybe I'll just have like a preview area where that'll show up on, oh, I like that, actually. So, all right. So I have the preview area to the left of these, all right? So categories, and the title, and that will just show up optionally as you hover, and it'll say so it'll just say hover to view, or it'll actually show that preview over there on the side. I kind of like that. That seems much less invasive, much less intrusive. All right, so I've got several different ideas for wireframes. Let's mock a couple of them up and just get a couple interactive prototypes going and see which one I like best.